anybody's out there, if you want to drop a like or a comment just to let me know that my audio and visuals are okay, that would be much appreciated. All right, thanks, Debbie. Cool. Okay, all right, well, we're at 12 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here in a second. I'm going to give it a couple minutes just to let any stragglers kind of get set up, but quick introduction, I guess. Sensei Martin already gave me a really nice introduction, but I've been here before, so I'll keep it brief, but my name is Gaby Elliot, and I train with ISKF on the east coast of the US. I've been training since I was very, very small. I'm still pretty small, but even smaller than I am now. And yeah, I love teaching for you guys. This is an amazing community, and I love training classes, and I'm very honored to be able to contribute my own thoughts and drills to this community. So, that said, I'm excited to get started, so why don't we go ahead and do that. Today we're going to be working on, so with the end of the year coming closer, I'm always thinking about Kengeko, right? So renewing the spirit of training and going back to the basics and thinking about our fundamentals. And for me, one of probably the main fundamental principle I always think about when I think about my own training is hip rotation. So that has always been just a huge fundamental part of my karate training passed down from my instructors. So that's what we're going to work on today, kind of the basics of hip rotation, and some ways we can kind of dig a little deeper into thinking about how we do it. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get warmed up. Make sure you have some room, and just twisting. And stretch to your side. Switch. And switch. Switch. And touch your toes. And other side. Down in the center. Up, stretch your back. Good, and twist one more time. And arms around. And back. Good, and down, stretch your legs really quick. Don't get deeper than you need to if you're still cold. Outside. And follow the foot. Bring your hips to the front. Stretch your hip flexor. Switch, other side. Follow the foot, outside. Now ball your foot and turn to the front. Pull that hip flexor. Good, and stand up. All right, let's just do some swinging our legs to get those leg muscles loosened up a little bit. So just with your left leg in front, right leg behind you, you're just gonna swing your legs straight up. So from the side, this way. Just let it swing, keep it straight, try to pull your toes back towards you. Ready? Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. And switch feet. Right side in front. Each. Ni. San. Shi. And go. Good, relax. All right, let's go to the sides. So we'll start on the right side. The same thing, keep your legs straight, swinging it up to the side. Try not to let your hips pop out behind you, right? We don't want to go like this. There shouldn't be an angle, so not like this, right? Straight up to the side, just as high as you can reach. Doesn't need to be high. Start with the right side. Each. Ni. and go. And other side, left side, each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. And relax. Round your hips. Other way. Good. And shake it out, whatever you need to do. Get one last little stretch in there. Fix your uniform. Okay. All right, so since we're going to start with hip rotation and work on hip rotation today, I figured we'd just start by warming up the hips. So at the very start, you can put your hands wherever you want to. You can hold them up here, you can put them behind your back, whatever's most comfortable. But I just want you to flip. We'll start slow, but flip your hips back and forth. So right now I'm just kind of turning. I'm not even really flipping. So just back and forth, just loosening up not only your hips, but all of your those little leg muscles that connect your hips to the rest of you that tend to get stiff and limit our hip rotation. Okay, and then speed it up a little quicker. And a little quicker. And as fast as you can now. Good, and relax. Shake it out. Okay, let's warm our legs up just a little bit more with a couple lunges. So we'll start with the left leg coming forward, just a normal forward lunge. Do it on the side view so you can see. Ready, each. And then switch to the other side, right side. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roke. Sich. Hach. Ku. And Ju. Good, and relax. So hopefully now your blood is moving a little bit. I'm in a cold basement, so I need that warm up. Let me check the comments and just make sure we're all good. Awesome. Okay. Looks like we're good. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So still just warming up, really. We'll start to add a little speed and power. So left hand out, right hand on your hip. Just Gakuzugi. Stay relaxed. We're not trying to make a lot of focus right now. Just keep the form correct. Keep your elbows in. Punch straight. And try to make it fluid and relaxed. Ready, each. Just shoot on. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roke. Sich. Hach. Ku. Ju. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roke. Sich. Hach. Ku. Ju. Good. And now Jodan, same thing. Keep your shoulders down. Try to stay relaxed, even though it's a little bit more difficult of a level to punch. Ready, each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roke. Sich. Hach. Ku. Ju. 10 more. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roke. Sich. Hach. Ku. Ju. And relax. Arms around. Good. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to do a drill for our arms to get our upper body and arms and hips warmed up a little more. We're not going to be in a stance yet, so we'll still standing where you are. Left hand out, right hand on your hip. First count, you're going to do Geidanbarai, each. So I'll leave it up to you, actually, for this first one, if you want to turn your hips or not. You can do this with your body straight to the front. So you can do this completely in Shomen and just work on your arms. If you want to do that, that's fine. This is just a different kind of connection. But for me, at least what you're going to see me do is turn my hips, at least to the 45. So I'm still practicing connecting the timing for my turning my hip and the block. But it's just two different ways to do it, so whichever way you feel will benefit you the most. So we're here, downward block. Now, Jodan Ageoke, rising block, knee. Good. And now, Soto Udeoke, san. Now, Uchi Udeoke, chi. And now you're going to do San Mihonzuki. So first, Jodan Chokuzuki, and then 2 punches to Chudan. Good. And now we're going to start the whole thing over again. So that's one set. So you'll notice now we're starting with the other hand. Gedanburai with the left hand this time. Each. And age oke ni. Soto de oke san. Uchi shi. Sangonzuki. Go. And then from the top. Gedanburai each. Rising block ni. Soto de oke san. Uchi de oke shi. And sangonzuki. Go. Good. Try to stay relaxed. Again, we're not trying to make a lot of power right now. What I want you to think about is keeping your arms, especially your arms and shoulders, relaxed through these movements. Use your hips if you're turning. Use your core if you're not. And don't think about tensing your arms to make them stronger and faster. Think about tensing your core. Okay, ready? So let's try one count, all movements. So nice and slow, all of those blocks, and then ending with sangonzuki. Each. Good, hopefully everybody got that one. Now we're starting with the other side. So you should have your left hand out in chokuzuki position, and we're going to start gedanburai with the right side. Knee. Good, and relax. Okay, san. Shi. And last one, go. And relax. Round your arms. So what I want you to try to think about is using, even though we're not in a full stance, using your hips and your lower body to kind of take the, the kind of effort away from your arms. This is a lot of movement for your arms. It's a lot of movement. So it's inherently going to be a little bit difficult for your arm muscles. So don't add to that difficulty by tensing your arms and making them do more work than they need to do. Your arms should be loose and relaxed. Make your core do most of the work. Okay, let's do it a little bit quicker. Left hand out, right hand on your hip. Same idea, relaxed. Speed is in relaxation, right? So don't worry about focus, just keep everything relaxed. Try to get to the finished position as quickly as you can. Let's see, well, I'll count each individual movement. Sangonzuki will be one count, so I think that's 6 counts, 5 counts, something like that. All right, ready? So just gedanburai this first count. Each. Age oke, ni. Soto de oke, san. Uchu de oke, shi. And sangonzuki, go. Good, relax. Check yourself, make sure your shoulders are down, make sure you're hitting the target you want to be hitting. Make sure your hips are tucked forward, your core is engaged. And next count, ready? Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Good, all right. So I'm gonna let you loose. Do this 3 times, your own count. The whole thing all the way through. So feel free to make it more fluid. I'm kind of breaking it up now to make sure everybody can see what I'm doing and get it. But make it more fluid. Try to take those pauses out in between the moves, but make sure every move is complete and you don't skip anything and you don't tense up. All right, so fluid but controlled. Be empowered. On your own 3 times. Ready? Hajime. Relax, arms around. Shake it out, whatever you need to stretch. Okay, so hopefully your upper body is a little bit more warmed up now. So let's move on to the lower body. So this will be really simple. First, everybody make hei sokudachi, feet together, bend your knees. And all we're going to do in the beginning is from here, step out with your left foot, zenkutsudachi each. Now pull back through the center, step to your left, kibudachi, knee, and then just back to back to hei sokudachi, san. So that's it. Ready? Same leg, still left side. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san. Good. All right, let's try the other side. First count, step forward, Gakuzugi, right leg. Ich. Now moving that same leg, your right leg is moving to the right. Come through the center first. Kibidachi. Knee. This way. And then back behind, back to the center. Heisokudachi. San. Good. To the front. Ich. Knee. San. Keep those hips tucked underneath you the whole time. Ich. Knee. San. Ich. Knee. San. Good, relax. Shake it out. So when we do these steps slowly, these kind of, granted right now we're just warming up our legs, but even so, we can work on our form when we do this stuff slowly. I want you to think about your sort of deterministic leg when you finish a stance. So you can think about this literally for any stance you do. If we think about front stance, right, the leg that's the deterministic leg, the leg that defines when you finish your stance, is your back leg, right? So you can put this foot down whenever, but the stance doesn't end. It's not completed until you've engaged the back leg, right? So you want those two things to happen as close together as possible. You want your weight to settle as close to when your stance finishes as possible. So think about the timing of your back leg when you step into your stance. We're going slowly. You can still work on it. It's actually harder to get timing right when you go slowly than when you go with speed. So this is a wonderful time to think about the timing of your back leg engaging. And this goes for every stance. With front stance, as I said, it's your back leg really that you have to think about. With Kibidachi, it's the leg that's moving, but it's also the other one, right? Because our weight is equally distributed. Both legs are doing the same job, pretty much. So here it's both, but you should still be thinking about that. You don't want to land your foot first and then kind of rock your weight onto it. You don't want your weight to go past the center. You don't want it to go past and come back. You've got to think about the end of your stance, when that happens, and be very deliberate about it, especially when we're going slow like this. Okay, so let's do that same set. We'll do one count, all three movements. Feet together, bend your knees. Start with your left side. Ready? Each. Forward, to the left, and to the center. Good. Now do the other side, the right side. Knee. Forward, right, center. Left. San. Think about that leg, especially the back leg when you step forward. Shi. Go. And row. Good, and relax, shake it out. Okay, so now let's add some kicks, just to get our hips warmed up from this position. My cats are trying to enter the room, trying to keep them out. We'll see how long this works. Okay, feet together, bend your knees. Let's work on kicking. So from just that same exact set of steps, I'll demonstrate first, just watch. So first we're gonna step forward, Maigiri Chidan, land in that front stance, and then the same leg, the left leg, will come to the center, Keage, any level you want. And then as you come back to the center, Maigiri Chidan again. Okay? So it's just Maigiri, Keage, Maigiri. Start on the left side, one count, one kick. Ready, each. Now kicking to the side, knee. And kicking to the center again, san. Good. Same side, still left side. Each. Knee. San. Each. Knee. San. Good. All right, let's try one count. Do all three movements, still just kicking with the left side. Each. Knee. And san. Ni Keage. And San Maigure. Good. Again, each. Ni. San. Each. Ni. San. All right, let's try one count, all 3 kicks. Each. Ni. San. And relax. Good. Shake it out. Round your hips. Twist. Do whatever you need to. Okay. All right. So I'm warm. So hopefully we can. Yeah. Okay. Looks good. All right. So working on hip rotation. Probably the first thing we all kind of work on when we do hip rotation is Gakuzugi. So we're just going to work on that to start with. So from here, left leg forward, get on Brai, come on, see? So from this position, all I want you to do, your front hand is going to be in a Kamai position. You can have your hand open or closed. So let me show you from this angle. You can have your hand open or closed, it doesn't matter to me, but it's going to stay in this position. Then we're going to punch Gakuzugi, and your hand's going to stay here. Okay? So this is to keep you from overextending your punch. So a lot of times with Gakuzugi, when we try to rotate our hip really quickly and sharply, we end up going too far. The shoulder extended past the hip, right? Too far. Keeping this hand here, sometimes that's because we're trying to pull this draw hand back really strong, which is good, but it's a little too much. This compromises your skeletal structure and makes the punch weaker at its final position. You went past the strongest point of your skeleton to something a little bit less optimal. So what I want you to try to do is keep this hand up so that when you punch, your skeleton stays straight. It's a little bit harder to twist like this. It feels weird. So keep this hand up and try to keep your shoulders square with your hips. They should always be in the same line, unless we're doing pretty much always be in the same line. So keep your shoulders square. So that's part of it. That's the first thing I want you to think about. Don't overextend. But also I want you to think about your timing. The timing for your hip and your punch. So when you're here, a lot of times a mistake that's really commonly made with Gakuzugi is you will see the hip, people get really good at hip rotation, the hip moves quick, and then the punch follows after. So sometimes you see something like this, right? Right? And it can look really sharp, because my gi is snapping, and my hand is moving quickly. But the problem is, if you hit something with that, the technique kind of falls apart, because you want your everything, your momentum, your legs, your hip, your core, your fist, everything should be connected at the same moment. So what happens when we flip and then throw the punch is we're disconnecting the lower body from the upper body. And it all needs to be together. So what I want you to think about, especially when we're going slowly here, is keeping this timing together. This needs to finish when this hits the target. If you have a makuara, I'm sure you've experienced this. If you try to hit the makuara with that, it doesn't work very well. But if you hit it with your leg and with your hip, it's much stronger. Okay? So those are the two things I want you to think about first. The timing of your hip and not overextending your Gakuzugi. Okay, left leg forward. Come on, hand up. Right hand over hip. First, just slowly. Gakuzugi each. And back. Ni. Back. Sun. And back. Chi. Back. Go. Back. So think about that timing. When do you need to tense? When does your hip need to start moving so that it finishes at the correct time? When does your hand need to start moving so that it finishes at the correct time? Think about that coordination. 5 more. Each. Ni. Sun. Chi. Go. Roke. Siege. Ju. Good, okay. So let's try it a little bit quicker now. From here, what I want you to do, each count, you're gonna do your Gakuzugi, and then pull back slowly. And just as when you went forward with the Gakuzugi, the timing as you come back should also match, right? So don't do this, and don't do this, right? The timing needs to be the same. When you pull your hip back, keep it tucked underneath you. Keep your butt engaged, keep your lower abdomen engaged, keep your pelvis tipped up, right? So that's another common mistake. People will engage their core for the Gakuzugi, and then when they come back to Kamae, they lose it, right? So they come back to Kamae, and it looks like this. You don't want your hip coming out. Keep that engaged, because next we're going to do Kizamuzuki. So, Gakuzugi, pull back, and keep your hips engaged, your core forward. All right, ready? So, the Gakuzugi with speed, pull back the Gakuzugi slowly. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rook. Sich. Hutch. Ku. Ju. And relax. Shake it out. All right, let's try the other side. Right leg forward, Kamae take. So Kamae hand up, Gakuzuki hand on your hip. As you rotate, make sure your core is engaged the entire time, not just when you pull back. Ready? Slowly first, each. Oh, sorry, I pulled my hand back. Back. Knee. Back. San. Back. Time the hip with the hand. Shi. Go. Rope. Sich. Rotate the full, get that full range of motion. All the way from the side to the front. Hutch. Good. And Ju. Good. Okay, let's try it with speed. So punch quickly, keep that same timing. It's subtle. It's subtle, but make sure your hip doesn't finish before your fist does. Same timing, punch with speed, and then pull back slowly. As you pull back, tuck those hips underneath you. Ready? Ich. Ni. San. Keep your hand out in front. Shi. Go. Rope. Sich. Hutch. Ku. Ju. And yame. And relax. Arms around. Shake out your legs, your hips. Okay, back to the left side. Left leg forward. Front hand is in Kamae, back hand is on your hip. So this time we're going to do the exact same thing, but 2 punches. So you're going to punch, keep this hand out in front, and then pull it back, and pull it back. So now we're thinking about the timing. As soon as you pull this to your hip, as soon as everything is set, your hip and your hand, your hips are tucked underneath you, they're turned the right degree, and your hand is on your hip, fire again, right away. So quick, slow, quick, right away. Once everything's in place, fire. Again, you have to focus on the timing. So if you end up doing this, and you're waiting for your arm to come back, it's going to be a little bit off. So think about timing this together, and then you can fire right away again. You shouldn't have to wait for one part of your body to get back before you fire. Everything should finish at the same time. All right, so left side forward. Left hand up, right hand on your hip. 1 count, do 2 punches. Okay, ready? Ich. And stop here. Good, back to knee. And back. San. Back. Shi. Back. And go. And back. Good. Relax. Switch feet. 1 count. Ich. Back. Knee. Back. Sun. Back. She. Back. Last one, go. And back. And relax. Shake it out. Good. All right. Good. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing a little bit quicker this time, because I'm running out of time. We're going to do the same thing with Kizamazuki. So what we were talking about for that in-between moment, here, that's how your Kizamazuki should feel. Hips tucked underneath, butt's tense, your legs are pushing out, your inside muscles are really engaged for this position in your stance. All of that's true when you throw your Kizamazuki. So now we're just going to do the reverse of what we did. This time, you're going to have your right hand out in Kamae position in Shomen, so facing to the front, and your left hand on your hip, and we're going to practice Kizamazuki. So this hip rotation has to be just as sharp as the Gakuzugi one, so a lot of times we're really good at making this one quick, but not as good at making this one quick, and this is just as important. So really make sure you're thinking to yourself, flip the hip, snap the hip. It's not just rotating, right? It's not slow. You're not just turning so that you're in the right position. You're throwing the punch with this hip. This hip is doing the attack, right? So abrupt and sharp. Okay, so right hand out, left hand on your hip. And first slowly, just Kizamazuki, keep this hand in front. Don't pull it back to a draw hand. Ready? Each. Turn your hips, but don't pull your hand back. And back, knee, back, sun, back, chi, back, go. Make sure your core is engaged, your butt is engaged when you throw this Kizamazuki. Don't let your hips come out beneath you. And back, roke, back, seach, back, hutch, back. Use your hip, throw the hip towards the target. Ku, back, and ju, back. Okay, let's try 2 punches on this side. Ready? Let's do one but with a little bit more speed. We'll just do 5 of them. Just 1 punch with speed. Ready? Ich, back, knee, back. Use your hip, sun, back, chi, back, and go, back. Good, okay, now 2 punches. So first, just like we did before, punch, back slowly, only when everything is connected, your draw hand is back, your hips are to the front, your back leg is engaged, that's when you fire again, okay? Only then. Ready? 2 punches, 1 count. Each. Good, and back. Knee. Back. Sun. Back. Chi. Back, and 1 more. Go. And yame. Good, relax. All right, let's do the other side. So right leg forward, get on Brad Kamae. So the left hand is up in front now in Kamae position. Hips are shomen, facing the front. Legs are engaged. 1 punch, slowly, Kizamazuki. Each. Back. Throw the hip forward and make sure the timing is with your punch. Knee. Back. Sun. Back. Keep your elbows in. Shi. Back. Go. And back. Good. Okay. Let's try it with a little bit of speed. Ready? Remember, relax your upper body. Just use your head. Ich. Back. Knee. Back. Sun. Back. Shi. Back. Last one. Go. And back. Good. All right, 2 punches, 1 count. So punch, hold back slowly, connect everything. Make sure the the timing is right, and then once you get to this position, throw the punch again. Ready? Each. Knee, oh sorry, back. Okay, knee. Back. Sun. Back. Shi. Back. Last one, go. Yummy. And shake it out, relax. Good, shake it out. Good, looks good. Okay, and relax. All right, so now we're gonna put those two together. We've done all of this work just to get to do Mihonzuki. Okay, so left leg forward, Girambarai. So all we're gonna do, we'll start from Gakuzugi, and we're gonna do Mihonzuki, so punching Kizamazuki, Gakuzugi, that's all. But I want you to think about how it felt to do those techniques with your hand in front, where your shoulders were square, how it felt to rotate your hip back, to get those raw hands in position at the same time your hip settles, right here or here, how it felt to connect the timing between your hip and your technique. All of that needs to translate into your Mihonzuki now. We've done Mihonzuki a million times, so it's going to be much easier to go back to the way you've been doing it before. But what I want you to challenge yourself to do is translate those feelings from the drill we just did into this set of techniques that you're so used to doing, and try to get a new feeling out of it. Okay, so let's try. So left leg forward, right hand out, Gakuzugi position. First, we're gonna do like 3 slowly. Mihonzuki. Ready? 1 count, both punches. Each. Ni. San. Make sure that hip timing is there. All right, let's try it with speed. Don't rush, get the timing right. Ready? Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Yeah. Good. And yame. Okay, let's do the other side. Left leg forward, I'm sorry, right leg forward, right leg. Girambarai, can I take? Gakuzugi. All right, so same thing. Think about the timing and your connection. Slowly first. Each. Ni. San. Okay, let's try with speed. Connect at the same time your hip lands, your fist lands. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. And yame. Shake it out. Relax. Good. Okay. So just one more drill from that. So with our left leg forward, we're going to think about now, we're going to do Sanbonzuki basically, three punches. But instead of our traditional Sanbonzuki, where we do all in front face, all in shomen, or maybe the first one in hanmi, and then the second 2 in shomen, we're going to flip our hip every time. So doing that full 90-degree rotation for each punch. So it'll be just like Mihonzuki, but with a 3rd punch. So it's easier if I just do it. All right, so left hand out, or sorry, right hand out, Gakuzugi position. So 1 count, we're going to do Kizamazuki, Gakuzugi, Kizamazuki. And you'll notice on the next count, it changes. This is an odd number of punches. So the next count will be Gakuzugi, Kizamazuki, Gakuzugi. And then we're back, Kizamazuki, Gakuzugi, Kizamazuki. So it changes which one we do 2 of each time. And I think that's really helpful because those 2 different rotations are different. They're requires different muscles and different coordination. So I think it's good to kind of switch it up. All right, so let's start Gakuzugi position. 1 count, 3 punches each. Good. Knee. Rotate your hips all the way each time. San. Shi. And go. All right, let's try with speed. 5 times the speed. Do your best. Ready? Don't rush the punches. Connect the hip. Each. Knee. San. Shi. Go. Yeah. And relax. Shake it out. Hopefully you're those punches are feeling good to you. All right, right leg forward, Yanamura, Kamaite, Gakuzugi. Same thing, slowly first, 3 punches, each. Turn your hip, time your draw hand, your hip, and your punching fist. Knee. San. Shi. And go. All right, 5 to speed. Each. Turn your hip all the way each time. Don't muscle it with your arms. Knee. San. Shi. And go. Aya. Yame. Good, shake it out, arms around. Deep breaths. Get some water if you need it. Okay. So obviously there's a lot of variations you can do with that. There's lots of stuff you can practice just with those 2 punches. You could add switching your feet. You could do 4 punches or 5. You can do different timing in between them. There are lots of ways to challenge this kind of fundamental practice of thinking about and working on your hip rotation. But right now we're going to move on, since there's only about 20 minutes left, to a different kind of hip rotation. So when we think about kata, and we think about what we learn and when we learn it, this kind of hip rotation, where we're in hanmi and we rotate sharply to shomen, or in shomen and we rotate sharply to hanmi, we don't actually do that very often in kata until we get to the sente katas, until we get to brown belt katas. Then we start seeing things like basai, right, where we go all the way to gaku hanmi, and then hanmi, or kankudai, where we do uchiuroke gakuzugi, right? But that, it doesn't really come up much before then in the katas. What we do a lot more in kata is using our hips to shift and to turn. So we're going to use this last 20 minutes. I have one more drill for the in place, half face to front face, or hanmi to shomen. One more straight from kata that we're going to work on really quickly. But then after that, we're going to think about kind of the shifting and the turning that we learned from our hand katas that actually comes in first, which personally I find to be more difficult. But I think maybe that's why it's earlier, is because we need more practice. Okay, so first, let's work on just an excerpt from Kankudai. So we're going to do just those moves that I just referenced. So just watch for now. We're just going to step to the left, block with the left hand, uchi ude-oke, Shudan Gakuzuki, and then we're going to turn 180 degrees behind us, uchi ude-oke, Mihonzuki. Okay? So one more time, just like in Kakudai, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Alright, and what I want you to think about here is the same thing as we've been talking about. When you connect with that first punch, make sure the timing is right. Make sure your hip lands with your punch, not before and not after. And then the same thing on the other side. Now we've got something new though, so we rotate to the front, and now we have to use hip vibration for the second punch. It's the same, it's a similar feeling, similar principles, but it's much shorter range. So you really have to get that first rotation right to be able to get the second one. All right, so let's run through that a couple times. So from here, left leg to your left, uchi-ude-oke, each gakuzuki ni, and then turn behind you, san, shi, go, and yame. Same thing. Each, ni, san, shi, go. So an obvious mistake here, a really common misstep, just like kind of with all the turns we do in kata, is folks will sometimes, we have a tendency, I'm guilty of this also, of stepping too narrow when we change direction. My feet are on the same line. I can't do this gakuzuki and be in balance, right? So you can already see me kind of leaning to the side. You need more space than that. So you have to make a full stance. Make sure your stance is wide enough. Make sure there's space here, right? And then you can connect with the solid Gakuzugi, the one that we practiced for the first 20 minutes of class. All right, let's go again. Ready, yoi? Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And yame. Good, all right, let's try the other side. So this is opposite from the way it's in the kata. Step to your right, uchiude oke. Ich, Gakuzugi, ni. And turn behind you, san, shi, go. So make sure, you might feel a little off in the stances now because you're not used to practicing it this way. That's a good thing. Let's practice it both ways so that we're in balance. All right, so we're going to just do it 4 times the speed. We'll start to the left, and then do the right, and then left, and then right. Ready? Yoi? Starting on the left side. Ich. Yame. I'm sorry, I should have said 1 count. 1 count, whole thing. Now to the right. Ni. Connect that hip, make sure the timing is there. Yame. To the left again. San. Yame. Last one to the right. Chi. Yeah. And yame. Good, check it out. All right, so now just a quick variation on that. We're going to add kicking instead. So we're going to replace the Gakuzukis with my Gary. Before we do so, just a quick note. When you do this timing with your hip that we've been talking about this whole time, right? Timing your punch with your hip, you have to do the same thing when you kick. And it's much harder. So when you kick, it's really common to see something like this, right? And if I slow that down and break it down, it looks like that. So what's happening is my hip rotation, just like with the punches, my hip rotation is disconnected from the connection with my leg. It's disconnected from the kick itself. So what I want you to think about today when we do this is, again, timing this hip with your foot hitting the target. So that doesn't mean you can't flip your hip. Sometimes it just means you gotta move your foot faster. So don't push off the ground. Don't push like this to rotate your hip to the front and then drag your leg up. Don't do that. Instead, contract. Pull your core together, pull your knee to your stomach, and rotate your hip at the same time. So that it's together. You're hitting the target with your hip instead of turning your hip first and then hitting the target. Okay, so let's try it in the drill. So first count, uchiude to the left each. So now instead of Gakuzugi, we're going to kick Gaku Maigiri. So in place, knee. Now keep your hips to the front. While you stand here, don't come back. Don't rotate back to half face. So after you kick, don't do this, right? Kick and stay here. Keep this hip engaged. Now, turn behind you, using that hip, another uchiude knee. And now you're going to kick, and you have to cover with your left hand while you kick. So kick, cover, and then land with chokuzuki. San. And yame. All right, let's do that side again. Same side, left side. Ich, block, knee, kick. Keep your hips to the front. San, block. Shi, kick and cover, and then punch. Shi. And yame. One more time that side. Ready? Ich, knee, san, shi, go. And yame. Good. All right, let's try the other side. Try going to the right. Ich, knee, san, shi, go. Yame. All right, one more time to the right, and then we'll do it with speed. To the right slowly again. Ich, knee, san, shi, go. And yame. Good. Okay, let's try with speed. Just once on each side, because we're running out of time. Once on each side. Ready? Left first. The whole thing, one count. Ich. Yame. Other side. Right side. Shake it out. Okay. All right, so with our last couple of minutes here, catch your breath while I talk. So, as I mentioned before, we're going to do some, we're going to look at the shifting in kata and the turning, where we're using our hips. So kind of our first introduction to hip rotation, at least for me. In my personal experience, I think the first time really my instructor talked about when and how you engage your hip and really engaging your hip to the maximum that you could. It was in that first, what is that? 270-degree turn in hand shodan, right? So from here, this turn, let me do it facing this way. So this turn after the ki, that one was always the one that my instructor said, like, you have to rotate your hip quickly, think hip first. That was the first time, I think, at least that I remember, really having the hip rotation idea beaten into my head. So we're going to take some of those, and we do that turn a lot in kata. We do that 270-degree turn a lot. And if you think about it, it's very difficult. You're not only are you changing direction, but you're moving your weight pretty far. If you kind of mark an X where you are, where your weight is when you're in this position, and then mark an X where your weight is when you're in this position, it's a significant difference. So it's a difficult technique. And I want to practice that. Because again, back to basics, Kingeko, going back to our fundamentals, this is my fundamental. So let's work on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine the first 4 270-degree turns that we do in kata. And which will hopefully put us back facing the right way again. Alright, so from Shizentai, the first thing we're going to do is the first one that exists in hand shodan. So the first one that we do is the one I just demonstrated. So first starting left leg forward, rising block. Jodan no okay, 1. Now we're going to step forward again, 2, do the same thing. Okay, now from here we're going to do that, just the turn from hand shodan. Geidan Barai to your, to your right, turning 270 degrees. Sun. Alright, so now from here we're in Geidan Barai. You're going to step forward from here, Chudan Oizuki, Shi. Alright, and then here, I'm sure you can feel, this is the same position you would be in for the second 270-degree turn we learned, which is at the end of hand shodan into the knife hand block. So from here, we go to just ki-ai, and now we're going to move that left leg behind us and do Shitoke Kokutsudachi towards the back of the room. Go. Good. Now from here, we're going to step forward, augmented forearm block, right? So from here, you're going to step forward, oh, I'm sorry, no, that's wrong, I skipped one. So from here, you're going to step forward, nukite, chudan, spear hand strike. So we're facing the back of the room still, but we're going to step forward, chudan, nukite, rope. Good. And now we're doing the next 270-degree turn that we do in kata, which is from here in hand nidan, another knife hand block. So back foot is going to move towards my right again, knife hand block. Rope. Good. Now we're going to step in augmented forearm block. Seach. Good. And if you recognize this is the end of hand nidan. We're going to make that same turn with the left leg, Geidan Barai. Hach. Good, and now we're back at the beginning. So yame. Okay, so this time I'm just going to show you, I'm going to run through it once, just so you can watch, and then we'll do it all together, one count. Alright, so if you want to follow along you can, but if it's easier to watch, do that. So first count, we'll start from Geidan Barai. Left leg forward, Geidan Barai, Kimachi. Okay, first count, age okay, each. Then turning behind, Geidan Barai, knee. Then stepping forward, oizuki, san. Turning behind, shuto, shi. Then stepping forward, nukite, go. And then shuto again, rope. And then augmented forearm block, seach. And gedanbarai, hatch. Good. Okay, so let's try it once. Go through the whole thing. Try it on your own. So the first technique will be rising block, and then we do the first 2 turns from Hyan Shodan. Then you do Nukite. You do the 2 turns from Hyan Nidan. Ready? Hajime. Good. Hopefully, you made it back to the beginning with your left leg forward, kind of on the left side of your room, and gedanbarai. All right, let's try it one more time. You can add speed if you're ready. If you're not, just work on the steps. But if you're ready for it, really think about flipping that hip each time you do that turn. Look first, cover, and flip your hip. Use the rotation to really throw yourself into that next movement. Throw yourself out of the way of the danger that you just experienced in wherever you were, right? So we're in a rising block position, and you need to move. So throw your hip to move your weight. All right, 1 count, do the whole thing. Your own pace. Ready? Hajime. Good. Yame. See where we are on time. Perfect. Okay. So the last 3 minutes, let's just do the other side. So that way, the way we just did it is the way it is in our katas. We had the same leg forward that we would have in kata. So what I want you to do now is challenge yourself. Try the other leg, spinning in the other direction. So this one might be a little bit more difficult, but it's an appropriate challenge, I think. Okay, so starting this time with your right leg forward, gedanbarai, kumaiti. Stepping forward, rising block each. Turning to your left, gedanbarai, knee. Stepping forward, oizuki-san. Turning again to your left, shuto, shi. Stepping forward, nukite, san. Turning again, shuto, to your left, shi. Stepping forward, augmented forearm block. Go. And again to your left, gedanbarai, rope. And yame. Good, okay. Let's try 1 time through on your own slowly. And then 1 time through on your own with speed. Your own count. Take your time. Use your hip. Starting right leg forward, gedanbarai. Kumaiti. On your own. Slowly first. Hajime. Good. All right, let's try it with speed right from here. Leave it all on the floor. Last drill. Ready? Hajime. And yame. Good. Great. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you had a good time and learned something, and I hope your hips are warmed up. Thank you again, Martin and Nadia senseis, for hosting me, letting me teach today. I had a great time. I hope everybody enjoyed the class. And have a wonderful holiday and a great new year. Thanks, guys.